crazy and nothing lazy.
All right, so it's been a while since we've done anything YouTube. Had some off season, did a couple races late season, took time off, winter, Christmas, that kind of stuff. Didn't really train too much in the month of December. Got sick early January, so got a bit delayed there, but now I've been back on track for a few weeks now, and I'm starting to feel pretty good and excited to actually look into what am I doing this season, what am I going to be racing, and just picking up on little things I can do better than what I did last year. So honestly, I didn't pay that much attention when a lot of these PTO announcements were happening about the T100 series because I knew I wasn't in it, and I was just kind of focusing on training and hadn't really been too motivated to look into what races am I doing yet, but I did look into it over the past couple days. Obviously that's kind of the big series right now, and that's competing with the Ironman series that was announced a couple months ago. So I guess everyone's kind of saying, well, which series am I doing? But for me, I'm not really into the PTO series, and also unfortunately the Ironman series doesn't really line up with the kind of racing I do. So I would have to make a choice of, do I decide to move up to the full distance this year and really go for that Ironman series, or do I just keep kind of racing the middle distance and try to get into those PTO races based on some good results and moving up in the rankings? So what I've decided to do, at least for now, is to just race at the races that have the most points possible and try to get into that PTO series. So I'm not too far out of it right now. It's hard to say where the selection rolled down to, but probably somewhere up in the upper 20s of ranking, and right now I'm in the upper 30s. So definitely a few guys ahead of me there, but unfortunately for me, I just didn't get the points I needed at the races that were worth a lot of points last year. I had 10 races last year, probably at least 6 of them were good races. I had 7 podiums, and the 2 races where I had a bad day were the 2 races that mattered at the US Open and the World Championship 70.3 in Finland. So I know that I belong in that series. I didn't earn it last year, and that's really what I'm focused on this year, is earning spots into that. So it is gonna be hard to work up the rankings because all the guys in that series are gonna be getting a lot of points from those races. So I'm just gonna have to do very, very well at the pretty competitive races, Oceanside, St. George. If you're not on the podium, you're probably not gonna be getting enough points to get in. So at least podium, and I probably will need to pick up a win or two. So that's the goal. So I'm not trying to think too far past that. Really, the first race of the year is just going to be Oceanside, unless I were to get like a last minute slot into the PTO T100 race in Miami. So I've got to go and crush Oceanside. I've raced well there the last few years, and I know I can do it, but it's kind of hard to know exactly how many people are going to be getting in to these sort of either roll down slots or like wildcard selections. Because there's 20 people on contract. They have to race 5 out of the 8 races. Some of them might do 6, so that means probably about a quarter of the field, maybe about 5 guys, won't show up to each race on average. So there might be about 5 slots available, and then they're gonna pick those based off of who knows. I mean, I'd like to think they'll roll down mostly by ranking, but as we've seen already in the top 20 that are chosen, like some of it really has nothing to do with ranking. It has to do with how many world titles you have and how much you can bring to the series, which obviously, fair enough. They need to be able to sort of get a lot of fans to these races and at least watching these races. So pretty exciting stuff. A good series to have. And unfortunately the Ironman series just doesn't work out that well for me, because if you don't do 3 fulls, you don't have too good of a chance really to come into that top 10, just because the fulls are worth so many more points. So I might do 5 races in that series, but hopefully I race really well early in the season and then just get into the PTO races. So that's the goal for me. It's early February now. I've been happy with how the training's been going the last few weeks, and really lining up quite a few things that I can do better than what I did last year. Some things that I did better in previous years compared to 2023 that I'm bringing back in. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at what things am I going to be changing and honing in. There's not going to be any huge changes, but definitely some things that I've identified as weak points that I really think are going to make a huge difference this year. And already I'm in a much better position for early February compared to what I was last year. So that's, a really, really good feeling. And maybe that little extra boost from getting the sunlight in the warm weather in Mexico has already helped. So thanks for watching. Coming out with a video soon on the things that I'm going to be doing better in 2024. We'll see you next time.